Alright guys, welcome back to Daddy Share Space. So it has been about 3 months, and as I have spoken on my channel before, I change the oil on my vehicles about every 3 months, pretty much like clockwork. I do my tune-ups every 6 months. The last time I did my tune-up was the tune-up or the oil change prior to this one, so my tune-up will come on the next oil change. So right now I'm on my way to AutoZone to go ahead and pick up the oil filter and oil. I like to stay on top of things like this because, you know, right now my vehicle has 264,654 miles on it, and it's a 2003 Dodge Ram 1500. And my goal is to drive this car until the wheels literally fall off. I don't see any reason why I should, you know, overspend as far as, you know, on a vehicle. You know, average car payments being around $700 a month. No, thank you. This oil change, and I'll put some pretty decent oil in here and filters. Probably cost me, I don't know, 50, 60 bucks to do it myself. I don't know how much it's going to cost if I took it into like a Jiffy Lube or the dealership or whatever. I know the last time I actually took my vehicle, my truck, into one of those faster oil change places, it was very convenient. I'm not even gonna lie, it was super convenient. My problem is, when I got around to changing my oil the next time, I ended up discovering that they put the wrong filter on my vehicle. And thus forth, you know, my truck could have been destroyed because of that. And, you know, if you have to go behind someone and check their work that closely, you might as well just do it yourself. Because if you do it yourself, you don't have to worry about what's going to happen in the future, or if you did it right, you're going to do it to the best of your abilities and know-how. And obviously, you know, the knowledge is out there. All you have to do is look it up. If you look up the information that you need to look up, you will be able to, you know, do something like a simple oil change, and it doesn't require a whole bunch of sophisticated tools to do it. Now, I know on these newer cars, it may be a different thing. You know, people may end up having to learn computer programming to work on these new cars, but, you know, we're not quite there yet. And, you know, I plan on trying to nurse my two older cars, you know, for a long time. I mean, if you just look at the average, we're not even talking about car insurance, you know, because obviously if you're carrying a payment, you got to pay full coverage insurance. But we're talking about, you know, the average car payment, if you Google it, is around about $700 a month. That comes up to about what is that, like $8,400 a year? Imagine what you could do with $8,400 a year, whether you decided to invest it, whether you decided to build out your woodworking shop and buy a bunch of Festool with it, whatever. You know, you could do a lot with $8,400 annually, and that's not even including the actual trade-off as far as whether it be tags and then also insurance. And then, you know, in this day and age too, you know, you have to worry about, you know, when I go to work, my truck is old, you know. It used to look pretty decent when I first bought it, but now it's got nicks and dings in all kinds of different places. And the cosmetic appearance of it isn't super important to me. I mean, anybody that's viewing this channel, you've kind of seen my garage, you kind of seen, you know, how I do things or whatever. So, you know, it's not necessary for everybody that I interact with to understand or know, you know, what I'm doing or how I'm doing. I mean, when I come out in my old beat up truck, people think, you know, I'm basically bumming and slumming it. I remember there have been times when me and my wife got in our 91 Saab, you know, and people just kind of laugh at you or snicker. You know, I don't care. It doesn't bother me. I don't have to have full coverage insurance. I can have liability, which keeps my costs down. And then also too, obviously my registration is super cheap, and it gives me the ability to splurge on other things, i.e. like I can actually put the best quality oil that I can buy inside of my vehicle every time, and I can change my oil, you know, every 3 months. Same thing, I can get nice quality spark plugs, change that out every 3 months. The money saved, can go back into this vehicle in some aspect or a portion of it, to help me fix the evap system, to get the friggin' car to be able to pass the smog inspection. If you think about it, 2 months of the average car payment, and you can go out and buy a very high-end scan tool. And let's say you wanted to pay, because I know some of those scan tools, automotive scan tools, could be like, I don't know, 1,000 or somewhere around in there annually to keep it updated. Now, I don't know if you would need to keep it updated every year. If you were sticking with the same car, you may be able to skip some years. I don't know for certain. But I only paid about $500 or so, between $5 and $6 for my scan tool. And, I do find that, it's a little bit lacking. I would have, I should have went ahead and just gotten a little bit higher end machine, but it is what it is. But prior to buying that machine, I actually bought one that was only about 40, 50 bucks. No, it was about probably 200 or so bucks or whatever. And then the next one that I got was about close to 500 or 600. But both of those scan tools, well, the second one more so than the first one. The first one only kind of gives you numbers that you have to go back and look up on the computer. The second one's more of a tablet, and it gives me the ability to actually, it gives me a lot more information. It makes it a little bit easier for me to narrow down fixing my vehicle. So it's helpful. I mean, it's, having one of those scan tools is almost like having an instructor in the home to help you to become a better auto mechanic. Now, obviously, there's still things that, you need to pay a professional for, and you have to weigh the risks versus the benefits. Like, I live here in Sacramento, and it gets real hot here. I mean, real hot. And, quite frankly, neither of my cars have air conditioning because over time, they both failed. Now, mind you, I did take both my truck and my Saab to an air conditioning specialist, if you will, and they worked on both of my cars. The Saab, he was unable to get it working, and then with the truck, he got it working per se, but it was always leaking, right? So I kept having to recharge it with the Freon, and I would use the little cans to refill it. And it just seems to me like if I'm going to pay money to a professional, they should do the job right. If I'm willing to give you cash money, hard-earned money to get a job done, then to me, there's no excuse. But since I understand now through experience that just because someone has a business front and just because they happen to, have a card or even a certificate does not mean you're going to get good quality service from that person. So you kind of got to do your due diligence, and especially now as the economy is kind of doing a little bit rougher, I can see a lot of people trying to cut corners in so many different ways to save money. So all of that stuff has to be taken into consideration when you start talking about needing to get something done, whether it be auto repairs, home repairs, whatever. I'll say for me personally, I'm fortunate, or I'm blessed, right, to, allow the Lord to kind of change my mindset and to make it to where, I would prefer not to be lazy. Would I like to say, go somewhere and go on a beach and sit down and camp out? Of course I would. Of course I would. However, in reality, as a regular person and not as a rich person, whenever you take vacation, you're taking steps backwards. I don't care, how you look at it, you're going backwards. A vacation, though it recharges the mind, though it does all these things, I think, and this is just my opinion, everybody may feel differently, but we used to go to this church, and the pastor used to always say that the stomach doesn't discriminate. So you may feel like you want something like lobster, shrimp, steak, whatever you think is caviar. You may feel like you want that because your taste buds want it. But if you eat something more meager and it fills your stomach doesn't care. And once you can move past, that kind of appetite where you're like, no, I want that top shelf, whatever it is, then you put yourself in a position to have a lot more options in other areas of your life. That's just my opinion. Let me say, So I got a question on my channel, and I've been thinking about it, and regarding, you know, channel branding, you know, what your channel's about, whatever the case may be. And honestly, you know, as I knuckle down, as I think about it, I honestly don't have the greatest answer at this time for what my channel brand or what it is that, you know, people should expect from this Daddy Share Space channel, because at the end of the day right now, I'm trying to, you know, feel my way towards, you know, what I want to do. Whatever I do, it has to be something that I want to keep up. That's one. If I don't want to keep it up, then I'm not going to do it, and I'm not going to get better at it. But then number two, at least for me, because I'm always trying to do everything that I can myself, it's very difficult to stick to a set schedule. Like, even if I said I'm only going to do a video once a month, right? But I'm going to do a really, really good video. Well, first and foremost, because of my lack of experience in video editing, I didn't go to school for it, and filming, and all of the different elements of making video. The only way I'm going to get better at it is if I do it a lot, right? So if I do it a lot, naturally and incrementally, I'll get better at recording video, recording audio, editing video. So I feel like doing one video a month and trying to do one good video is probably not the best formula for me. That may work for someone. Like, say for instance, if you're a person that, you know, went to film school, and so you already understand all of these aspects and everything you need to do. You know what to do because you were taught it. It was part of your, you know, your education, and thus forth, it makes more sense for you to, you know, take your time and, you know, get all your angles right, all your shots right, all of these things, because that's your profession, that's your specialty. But if you're a person that's never done it, now if you go to that same person that went to school for that, what did they do all through school? They made projects that sucked, you know. They grew to get to that end stage. And, you know, fortunately, in a place like YouTube, you can actually try to build yourself up or get yourself to a higher level simply by, you know, just working at it, you know, just, you know, put in the time, put in the effort, and you can, you know, achieve higher goals just by doing it over and over again. I kind of look at like what I'm doing on YouTube right now by putting up a lot of videos and different videos. I'm finding my own voice and my own what I have to share. That's number one. And, you know, because loosely, if I was to explain it, my wife is always talking to me about these, what they call clean with me channels, where people just clean up, and people like to watch that. And so if I was kind of just doing a hasty generalization, I like using that phrase, hasty generalization, because it fits in so many different situations and scenarios. But as a hasty generalization, it's kind of like a work with me channel, if you will. So like, you can watch me and see me doing stuff, right? But, you know, because of how, you know, YouTube is an advertising platform, right? And as a result, you know, money kind of gets driven towards, you know, so advertising, what do you advertise for? You advertise for products that are for sale, right? So even if you were just doing a clean with me video, right? People may watch for you cleaning or watch you clean, but then at the same time, if you go out and get a nice little, a different kind of vacuum cleaner, and, you know, let's see, you know nothing about that vacuum cleaner, I don't believe that you have to wait 6 months, a year, 2 years, and get that amount of experience under your belt to say, hey, you know, let me tell you about this machine. No, you know, you're missing an opportunity there, right? And that opportunity is when you buy something, that initial impression of how you feel about the product, what you think about the product, if your expectations were met just by the presentation alone, and then also giving that valuable information to others so they can see, do I want to buy this product? Do I like the presentation? What did this person who is not a paid sponsor, what do they say about the product? And then at the same time, anytime you buy a product, let's say you buy a product that you've never used before, there's going to be a learning curve, right? You're going to grow with that particular product. And so if you see someone naturally buy something that they've never used before, And then over time, they start to grow into the product. They're going to be able to give you some invaluable information, especially if they're using it naturally in their natural setting. You will see them mess up, or you will see that product fail if it fails, and it will be very natural and very pure. It will not be a contrived situation. And as a result, you know, if let's say someone came along later, right, and they said, oh, this person has this stream of videos about product A. This is their initial unboxing, where they basically said why they bought it, how much they paid for it, what they hope to use it for. And then over time, you see them using it sporadically, because like when you buy a vacuum cleaner, you know, sometimes, you know, some people who are more extreme cleaners, they may vacuum every single day. They may vacuum several times a day, right? Now, let's keep it real. You don't want to watch somebody vacuum every single day, the same spaces, like that. There has to be a little bit more value and a little bit more variability to the video. So even though you may invest in a vacuum and you may want it to clean your house, that vacuum is more of a smaller element of the bigger picture of your life, your Clean With Me channel. So, but at the same time, why would you miss out on the opportunity of, you know, because you could do things like you can apply for the Amazon affiliate program, and which I'm a part of, by the way. And then like you buy this vacuum, you got an Amazon affiliate link, you unbox it and, you know, give your initial impressions. Where, what does that do? That does multiple things. Number one, it gives a person the opportunity to come to your channel and potentially subscribe if they deem that, you know what, I want to hear someone's opinion that's maybe different than the mainstream opinions, or whatever the case would be. Like, I'm in a pretty decent position right now, because at the end of the day, I don't have any sponsorships or anything like that, so I don't have to be worried about saying what a company wants me to say. I can just do what I want, and in the end, if it works out, great. If it doesn't work out, you know, there's no harm, no foul, because the way YouTube is set up, I may not make as much money if I say something derogatory about a product, but there's no real reason why I have to, you know, just say what that company wants me to say, because at the end of the day, I could just be truthful and say what I want to say, because I spent my own money. If I spent my own money, I can feel how I want to feel about a particular product. That's the bottom line. I can choose to feel how I want to feel. Anyways, I may not be able to pick up right back here. I'm going to go ahead and jump into AutoZone right now and pick up what I need to pick up. And then we'll just start talking wherever I end up talking. All right, let's go get this stuff. So I'm hoping, I'm going to keep it real today. This is the first time I'm trying this. So I have 2 GoPros in my car right now, and I don't really feel like, you know what? No, I'm going to take them down. I was going to leave them in the car, but I'm not going to. But I am going to leave them recording so that the video stays in sync. And it would be lazy, because you could just see here how easy it is to pop them out or whatever. So I'm going to drop these in my little bag here, and we'll go and pick up what we need to pick up. Okay, so back on the road. I'm going to I have to say, that little experience that I just had there in the automotive store just proves my point. So I get up in there, and the guy's, you know, like eating pizza, you know, so there's nobody attending the register. So he's like eating pizza, and I mean, you know, gotta finish his bite and do all this type of stuff. And then I come in with all my facts. I tell him the year of the vehicle, the model, all the information. And I tell him what I need. And pretty much at almost every step, he had to ask me again, you know, what car it was, what, you know, everything. And then when we go back to the back of the store to get the oil, he forgot what kind of oil it was. Now on me, every time I tell myself you need to remember what oil you have or whatever, you need to write it down somewhere or whatever. I should know that, but I have been out not my best in regards to basically keeping that down. So something that I want to do in the future is I want to create a calendar, and I'll probably put it on my, you know, like on my actual digital calendar, where I have it scheduled when I do my oil changes, and then I also have it scheduled when I you know, what the oil, you know, what kind of oil I need, what the filter size is, and then even what the socket size is, and the actual oil the oil pan tool to take, I mean, not the oil pan tool, the oil filter tool that I use, because I use two different types, one for the Saab and one for the truck. And something that I would like to do probably in the future, I may get a little pack out, because it fits into the pack outs that I already have, and basically, you know, maybe even a pack out drawer or something, and put everything that's for that oil change in that particular one location. I wouldn't mind getting one of those little rolling deals, so I can kind of roll it out there by me, pull out the drawers, and everything that I need for the oil change is together in the same spot every time, and all the information, you know, spark plug gapper, all of this type of stuff. Because, you know, I find that when you create systems with, you know, whenever you go work a job, there are systems already in place, and you follow those systems, and you end up getting a desired result. The result is kind of controlled within a certain degree of variability, right? And the same thing, if you bring those types of thought processes home, it gives you the ability to get things done more efficiently, effectively. And for me, it gives me a lot of satisfaction to be able to just basically know where all my tools are, have everything set up in a certain way, easily accessible. Now the garage part, it's still a work in progress, because I'm having to move things around back and forth to kind of get things done, which is, as I said, one of the reasons why I wanted to go with the Festool system, because their whole system is really based around mobility. It's not really based around like a setup shop. Even though people with setup shops use Festool, it seems to be more for like mobile carpenters. And that functionality I find to be great, because I would love to be able to just fold all my stuff away, put it to the side, and have, you know, be able to like work on my vehicle in the car. Like right now it's drizzling a little bit. You know, I don't know if it's gonna rain heavy or whatever, but it's, what is it? It's Sunday. It's March the 3rd. I'm still, you know, I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna get home. And because the garage is not suitable right now, because I've been working, yesterday I was actually working on getting rid of some of the extra wood that I have in the shop, getting rid of that tree. I had to go to the salvage, well, not the salvage, to the dump twice, 2 separate dumps, because one of them doesn't accept treated wood and the other one does. So I had to go to the dump twice yesterday. So yeah. Anyways, I think I'm gonna do a little video on that one too. I'll probably throw that up as maybe, I don't know, like a shop vlog or something. But anyways, so you know, I got up this morning and I was, you know, running a little bit late. I probably didn't get up until around about 9ish or so. And then, you know, it's Sunday, and you know, my wife put on some Christian music, and we all got to, you know, singing together and just kind of, you know, just having a moment that was, I think, very healthy and good for the family. So we did that, and that even pushed back the start of my day even further. So I didn't start tinkering about until about probably close to 11. And I ran out. Well, first I was gonna go out and cut the yard, and then I saw that it was raining a bit, so I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna cut the yard. And then it stopped, and so then I jumped on outside. I grabbed my GoPros and my View 6, and I went ahead and cut the grass real quickly. I didn't do any kind of major deal. I just kind of cut, trimmed, and blew, so that the grass doesn't get too high. And I didn't even use the bagger. So that all, you know, so I got all that stuff done. And then I realized, you know what, let me check and see when was the last time I changed the oil. And since I found out that it was due, I've decided to go ahead and just, you know, get it done. Now, it is starting to rain a little bit more, but what I think I'm going to do, I have these little pop-up things, and I think I'm going to, you know, just proceed with changing the oil, but I'm gonna put up the little pop-up canopy to basically keep me out of the rain while I do this job. Because if I get it done, yes, it's taking up my whole day, but it's gonna do a couple things, right? I have so many different videos in my mind that I want to get done, but you know, sometimes the garage is not set up properly to get it done, or you know, maybe I don't have the thing that I feel like I need, or maybe, you know, so many different things. There's something more important that I need to do. So right now, if I change the oil now and get that knocked out, then I don't have to worry about this for 3 months. It's very similar. Like before, I had to do my ACLS, BLS, and I had to do my PALS too, which is Pediatric Advanced Life Support. So I got all that stuff knocked out. Now I'm gonna go ahead and get this what do you call it, get this oil change knocked out. And you know, that's what, say, going back to talking about what I was saying about this being almost like a work with me type of channel. And in the process too, I'll be, you know, like reviewing or giving unboxing, or showing unboxings of tools that I buy that I find will help me to be more efficient in my workflow. But then also over time, giving a more long-term review as it develops. And also you'll get to see me use it, you know, on a regular basis. So no matter when you know, start watching this channel, or if you say you start watching it, you don't watch it anymore, you come back later, you know, you may see, oh, okay, Telly bought this particular tool. He bought it about a year, 2 years ago. Now this is if, you know, God gives me life and I'm still making videos. And let me just check back in and see, you know, what happened with that particular tool. If it lasted, if he still likes it, if he whatever. So I could do an unboxing and overview of a product. After I do the unboxing and overview, I can come back and it'll be in videos when I use it, so you'll see it being used. And obviously if I don't know what the heck I'm doing, you'll see that too, you know, if I don't do my research beforehand and decide whatever, you know, because sometimes I want things to just be natural, right? Because, you know, of course, the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. So of course, you know, if somebody was giving me a hands-on with all the tools that I have, then, you know, I would be in a better state. But, you know, at the end of the day, you can't cry over what you don't have. You just do what you got to do. And, you know, fortunately, I'm in a position where I can buy a lot of these tools. So I buy them and I just use them, you know, maybe graze over the direction sometimes. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I do. And then I try to get the most out of what I can get out of that tool. And then in the end, it may end up being a situation where I spent a lot of money and I'm not getting that value. That's fine. But, you know, on the flip side of that coin, if you think about it, if I make a YouTube video about it and people watch it, and let's say a bunch of people decide not to buy it, or a bunch of people decide to buy it based upon information they may have seen on my channel, then it kind of makes it more it makes it a better decision on my part to have bought it. Because like maybe person A, let me use the Mafell Duo Dowler and the Festool Domino in this instance. A person may be on the fence, which one should I get? But they only have money for one and not the other, right? And so if they watch videos on different people and they see different ideas and different thought processes, they may choose the one that's best for them based upon there being enough information for them to make the best decision, right? And not just marketing from a company that basically is just trying to sell you a product. Everybody's gonna say their stuff is better. You know, if I had a company and my employee was telling you that the competing company is, you know, better, is superior, more than likely you're going to say, well, you know what, maybe you should go work for that other company. You see what I'm saying? That's how that kind of flows. But if you stay independent, as I am trying to do here with Daddy Share Space, then you could just tell it how it is, because you're not beholden to a particular company regarding products and stuff like that. So anyways, this is going to be a cool, I mean, it's kind of cool outside today, and obviously it's wet because it's sprinkling about, But I don't feel like it's going to take that much time for me to get this oil change, simply because I already kind of gathered all my tools together. All right, so this is the nut I'm going to take off right here, and the filter is right there. This on here like this. Got that. Put this on here. Let's break it. So that's tight. So we want to go away to loosen. And we're already loose. Alright, so now that we're there, I'm going to take this. There you go. All right, so we're getting this oil change done. So anyways, like I said, you know, I go into the AutoZone, or go into the automotive parts store, and they don't even seem to be super knowledgeable of what I need. So you kind of got to double check things and, you know, be mindful of that. So I think I'm gonna get my other oil pan to do this faster. So let me go grab that now. To make this job a little bit more efficient, I'm gonna get a second oil pan like this and put it under this area here, so I can go ahead and remove the filter, so it'll be draining from both places at the same time. So let's go ahead and get that set up. In actuality, I changed my mind. I'm just gonna use the same pail because it took me a little bit longer to gather everything. So let's just clean this up. We're going to take our bolt, which we have here. Clean it off. And to put this back in. And one of the things about the Milwaukee ratchet, you can actually use it manually too. So just snug it up. Oh, turn it the other way. And then tighten it. And I like the long reach because it gives you a good leverage. Alright. I think we're good there. Alright. Let's take this off. Wipe this up. I'm going to use this, and we're going to use an extension. Pop this in here, 3/8, and it's at a swivel. so it'll get on there pretty good, just like that. And then I'm gonna cheat and use this. And we're gonna go back. So I got so focused on taking the wrench off that I forgot about bringing the pan. Alright, so we got that going there. Let's get this out of the filter. Kind of slick. So here's the filter that we're going to use. I'm going to put that in, and we're going to be about done. So I like to put a little bit of oil on the seal before I put the new filter on. So we're going to do that. Let's get the plastic off.